In this video, I'm going back a bit in time to before I had my injury and before we moved to our new house, showing what was done on the rear deck, or otherwise known as the turtle deck, I guess is the proper name for it. But before we get into that, I'm going to just show you some of the parts that I got. I didn't get into the update video. There are some parts that I acquired during the couple of years I was off. And the other thing I want to do is give a shout out to Ian Castley at Econobox Garage. I'm going to put a link up here to his channel. He's rebuilding a bug-eye, or has mostly rebuilt a bug-eye actually, and watching his videos is kind of what kept me going when I was laid up with a spinal injury, couldn't move, was stuck on a couch, had no income because I wasn't working, and you know, watching his videos kind of kept me engaged with the car vicariously through him, and kept me interested, and kept me, you know, getting the odd parts where I could on my car, and keeping hope and kind of planning to get back to this stage where I could work on this car again. Really, he deserves credit for keeping me in the game, and I want to give that out. And in truth, he and I have actually spoken a bit. I sent him, he broke his distributor, and I sent him, I had a spare. He sent me measurements off of his car. We talked back and forth. He's a really good guy, and I want to give him some credit here. So shout out to Ian Castley at Econobox Garage. Thank you for all your help and support. And now I'm going to get on with the video here and show you. These are some of the parts I got, some of them shortly after I moved into the house, and some of them a little later on. So here we go. Now that the shop tour is done, I thought I'd take advantage to show you a few of the things I actually have also acquired while I was in my off season. These are from Ashley Hinton. These are when the spring boxes go in with the spring, this sits above the springs to keep dirt out of the spring box. So Ashley Hinton is the only place that sells these things that I can tell. They're stainless, they look really nice. So this is some more parts from my while I was ordering from Ashley Hinton. I also got the front and rear closeout panel, little bits for the when I do the sills. So that came in. I also got some knobs from him. Really, really happy, by the way, with the service from Ashley Hinton. I ordered through his eBay store, but I posted a question with my order before I actually placed the order, and they walked me through the process, made sure I got all the right parts. They really took good care of me. I was very, very impressed with what I got from Ashley Hinton. I don't know if I actually did a video on this. Sorry, I'm going to go off topic here. This, when I ordered a bunch of used parts, somebody threw this in the box, but it was completely clear and transparent, and just beat up. So what I did was I took dental picks and picked everything out and made it just bare plastic, and then hand painted it from the back side. You can see there. And it turned out okay. It's an original piece because the piece that I had was long since lost. I never received it. But anyway, so until I can get a new one, I may even leave this one on for character. Managed to get the Sprite Thorn push. But anyway, back to the old thing. This is, I'm going to put a reverse light above the license plate. When I put in a fuse box, I've got all kinds of actual connectors so that, oh, an electric fuel pump. These all came from various, the electric fuel pump came from Pegasus. This, my wife got me for Christmas.
Same with these. Great Christmas present. Hey, I asked for car parts. Got a bunch of the wiring because my harness was incomplete. I did not have the harness portion that goes up under the hood to the headlights. So I got all of the appropriate and tracers and everything. So, and again, happy. Oh, and while I was at it, I bought a relay box. Oh, these are more stuff from Ashley Hinton. These are for the tops, for the convertible top to slide into there. And I got new spring tops for my rear springs. So that's all Ashley Hinton. Again, happy, actually really, really happy. So I really want to update the electrical on this. I'm putting in an alternator instead of a generator. It's going to be one of those ones that looks like a generator. You know, what do they call them? Dynamators, whatever the word is. And I'm going to have proper fusing. And I'm going to put the fuses under the dash. And the reason I'm doing that is because if my headlights go out, I don't want my motor to stop running. Or all these other little things you hear. It's much easier to have everything on a circuit. Fuse blows, you change the fuse. So it's still going to try and make it look vintage. I'm going to hide the fuse box, but it's going to be there. So, and the other thing I got, as you can see, I got an LED lighting package. I'm not going to talk about the company that I got the LED lights from. I'm sure the products are good. I've heard great reviews of the product. They sent me, mistakes happen, and I wasn't too worried about a mistake happening. They sent me yellow tail lights instead of red. And of course I needed red, which fine, that is what it is. I have no issues with that. My issue came with when I asked them, can I please send you back the yellow lights and you send me red? This company was more concerned with telling me it wasn't their fault and how they did nothing wrong and for 5 or 6 emails back and forth where all they were doing was trying to shirk blame. And I really didn't care about blame. All I wanted was a set of red taillights. So all I wanted to do was, I was happy to ship them back the yellow lights at my expense, and they shipped me the red ones at theirs, and call it even. And that is what happened, but I had to fight with them for 3 weeks to do it. So I will not recommend this company. I will not mention this company. I would not use this company again. I would find a different source for my LED lights. I know Ian Castley, who does Econobox Garage. He used the Moss kit, and he seemed very happy with the Moss kit. So maybe go with them instead of going over to England. Like I say, I'm sure these ones will work. I've heard good reviews of the product, but based on customer service, if I had it to do over again, I'd follow Ian's lead and I would go with Moss. So, but Ashley Hinton, I cannot recommend highly enough. His body panels fit. Everything's good quality. He's a reasonable price. And Autosparks, same. I had absolutely no issues. Autosparks sent me the wire. It was cheaper than anywhere else. It got here easy. It shipped quick. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I bought the motor from an English car place in Edmonton, secondhand. I knew the motor was frozen. I bought it with that knowledge, but I bought it cheap. So that's going to get rebuilt. Yeah, that's your update. Learned something about the epoxy. If you don't get it all, it lights on fire when you weld. Anyway, I've got the patch panel tacked in there, and this patch panel tacked in there. They're just tacked, but I've got the plugs along the wheel wells. Ow. plugs along the wheel wells and underneath, and yeah, just tacked it all the way along. I gotta sweep up this floor every time I grind, of course, so all the dust gets everywhere. One thing, I can't remember if I mentioned it before or not, but the license plate area here, which I now have captive nuts behind, is not as tall as a North American license plate. So I'm going to have to get a stand that comes out, or a little mounting bracket that comes out, let the plate hang down. I didn't show you all the tacks and everything today because you've seen it a million times, I'm sure, on other videos. You know how to tack weld sheet metal. You know, and I'll show you on this part up here because it'll be nice and easy, but move around, keep it from warping. Piece of copper behind really helps with the warping. Yeah, it's kind of boring to watch, so I didn't think I'd drag it out by showing it all to you, but it's pretty simple stuff. And if you can't get copper behind, I just drop my heat and go a little slower to keep it from warping. The harder part comes when you've got the tacks about ½ inch apart. I like to go almost to a 1/4 inch, or I'll do ½ inch apart tacks, and then I'll a 1/4 inch, go over here, 1/4 inch, come back, you know, do a few more, come back and get the other 1/4 inch, and then you end up with a few little holes, but I usually put a little fiberglass over top of it for that, or you can plug them up with the welder, just and make it pretty. Anyway, I've had a day. Welder whip went nuts on me, had to change the gas bottle, couldn't find the leak, of course, soap bubbles everywhere. Just one of those. So I'm done. It's near the end of the day and I'm done. Here's the welding. I didn't bother showing you all the welding and grinding, but I got my corners back in place. They are in a little bit. That's deliberate because I sealed them with some fiberglass reinforced filler, waterproof them there. And that's where that's at. They're all in. They're all ground down as much as I'm going to grind them. I have also, while I was at it, ground down the old spot welds along here on both sides, and took a hammer and did a little straightening. So that's ready to go in. But before I throw this piece on, I'm going to throw some white epoxy. That car wrap paint also has a top coat, 2K top coat, and it says it's good for direct to metal. So I'm going to try it again inside the boot. So if it doesn't work out and it peels or something, then there's really no big deal doing it in there. Normally I would prime and then top coat, obviously. But and there was a bunch of old seam sealer in there, or undercoating or something. I did the best to get it off as I could with some little bit of paint thinner. Also, as you can see where I did some of the welding and patches and stuff, there was some grinding, there was some burning. I'm going to scuff it with red Scotch-Brite everywhere where there was paint and even when there wasn't. Then I'm going to degrease it with wax and grease remover, and then I'm going to shoot that paint. It is, I think, 23 degrees out right now, so warm enough outside. And then again, when it goes into the garage, I've got the 2 heaters. I'm going to put them inside, facing up and out, to keep the metal warm. Doesn't matter what temperature the air is, as long as the air and the paint and metal are warm. So that's the plan here. And I don't want to risk getting my camera all full of paint, so I'm not going to show you that, but you'll see the results.